Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Building Strong Library Associations, MLAS Initiative Webinar Series, Sub-Saharan Africa Regional Division. This event is presented in collaboration with IFLA New Professionals Special Interest Group, NPSIG, IFLA Women Information and Libraries, WILSIG, and the Sub-Saharan Africa Regional Division, as I mentioned. My name is Loida Garcia Fibo. I am the chair of IFLA Management of Library Associations section. This is a fantastic session where all the library associations members of IFLA are also members too. We have 21 members. We sponsor the IFLA New Professionals and the IFLA WILSIG, which is the Women and Information and Libraries Special Interest Group. And this is our most recent picture of all of us together. I would like to share some information about our activities, and you can read about this on our most recent report published in May 2025, and it's available on our website within the IFLA pages. And our initiative from this past year and a half is under the name Building Strong Library Associations. And that comes directly from the mission of MLAS, which is to build and support strong, well-managed library associations. The initiative includes events, webinars, and hopefully mentoring of library associations in the future. This is a totally new and only initiative from management of library associations. Is not like the BSLA that IFLA had many years ago, but we want to support library associations. And we are centering this initiative on priorities: library advocacy, financial sustainability, membership retention, strategic planning, and information integrity, which is the term used by the United Nations to indicate those areas like fake news, mistrust, and things like that. And so these priorities were identified after analyzing results from 3 different surveys within IFLA and 1 from library associations globally from MLAS. For instance, I would like to share examples of some of the events we have had. We had one last year with Lesotho, and we collaborated with them in a planning workshop they had for the Lesotho Library Association. We also collaborated, for instance, with Lebanon, with the Lebanese Library Association, and we presented their annual conference together with them as an invitation from one of our members, who is also a member of the Lebanese Library Association. In that time, the theme was digital preservation of cultural heritage, which is very important for the region. Other events include some online events about library advocacy, and with Croatia and with the Croatian Library Association and with the National Library of Croatia. And we had another event about strategic planning in Croatia. We also had different speaking opportunities and invitations in Romania, Finland, even the Dominican Republic, and other IFLA units. So we are here to collaborate and present events to help strengthen library associations. In terms of the webinars, we have presented webinars with the different regions of IFLA, right, of the world. And we already presented with the MENA region, the Middle East and North Africa, with the Latin America and Caribbean region, IFLA Asia and Oceania. We did also with North America and Europe, and we are closing in a big way with the Sub-Saharan Africa region. And if you can go to the MLAS, IFLA MLAS YouTube channel, you will see the recordings of the events with the different regions. And they center on different topics depending on the needs of the region. Some select strategic planning, others library advocacy, and so on. I also would like to call attention to an event we had earlier in June about financial sustainability of library associations. We had stellar speakers, and we hope that the recording is helpful for many library associations around the world, that we are really all grappling with economic crisis and sustainability. And finally, I would like to share that we had a packed schedule for webinars, and our last webinars were now in July. We started the month with Asia and Oceania. Then we had a webinar with the Women, Information and Library SIG earlier this week. And as I said, we are really closing in a big way with Sub-Saharan Africa. And now it's my pleasure really to introduce the speakers. I would like to say that today's webinar includes topics like strategic planning, membership, and perspectives of national and international work by library associations. And we are very happy and actually thrilled to collaborate with Dr. Ayanda Lebele, and he's the chair of Sub-Saharan Africa and the team from the regional division. And so the speakers today are Dr. Ayanda Lebele, chair of Sub-Saharan Africa, director of library services at Botswana International University of Science and Technology, Namotenya Hamwaula, Deputy Director, Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture in Namibia, and also member of the IFLA Management of Library Associations. Jan Moeketsi, board member and chair of the Finance Committee. And the technology here did something, but we're coming back. Just a moment. Okay, there we are. Oh, it's not letting me do this. What's going on? Okay, all right, here we are. Jan Moeketsi, board member and chair of the Finance Committee at the Library and Information Association of South Africa, LIASA, Information Librarian at the Tshwane University of Technology for the Finance and Economic Sciences faculty, and Margaret Tarpley, adjunct instructor, Department of Surgery, Vanderbilt University, and adjunct lecturer, Department of Medical Education at the University of Botswana. And now it's my great pleasure to welcome Dr. Ayanda Lebele.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good afternoon, greetings, everybody from wherever you are. Loida, could you kindly show my screen, my slides?
Yes.
While Loida is on that, as the chair of the Sub-Saharan Regional Division, I felt very honored for the Managing Library Association reaching out to us to say, let's work on a project. And for us, issues of membership became very, very the top priority theme that we felt we should talk on, and on strategic planning. And for that reason, I'm just going to zero in on the landscape of membership, IFLA membership, particularly to our region, and say we have had different collaborations. This is not the only collaboration that we are having with. Am I audible?
Yes.
We have had collaborations with other special interest groups. For example, the continued professional development in the workplace learning. A few weeks ago, a webinar with the multicultural interest group. All these we are doing to show to our members that collaboration, advocacy are key to strengthening the global voice of IFLA through our members. May you kindly go to the next slide? Yes. So when we talk of membership at IFLA, and we have over 150 countries, the footprint, and IFLA started off with membership of about 15 countries. Now we are going on to the 100th year. We have 150 countries across the globe. And these, I felt it was very important to highlight the different categories, because I, as the chairperson of the section, I have observed that many of our members in the region are not aware of the different membership categories. We have membership as associations, and this can be the national associations. It can be international associations. In our region, we have IFLA as one such international association. And then we have other associations that may be interested in affiliation into IFLA. We have then association affiliates who can also be members. And then we have, IFLA has another category, which is the institutions. We have different, for example, I could be member of the National Association, the Botswana Library Association, while I'm also a member of IFLA, which is an international association, and then be a member at institutional level, which is the institution that I work for. Here we have one-person library centers, and we have school libraries. We then have a category of individual members. There we also have student affiliates, and then we can have new graduates and have non-salaried. I'm bringing this up because lately, as the chairperson of the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division, I have observed we have kind of neglected our members who are retired members, who are neither belonging to any institution or who are not students, so that's the category of the non-salaried that they can be affiliated through. I felt that was very, very important that when we talk of membership, we create that awareness. Can we go to the next slide, please? Yes. Now, in our region, we have association membership of 15 members. And may I bring out that we have over 46. Let me just, to be safe, let's say we have over 40 countries in our region. And out of the more than 40 countries in our region, we have only 15 members at association level. So I'm pleading to colleagues in the Sub-Saharan African division, not religion, division, to encourage our associations. And the associations, we can only encourage them when we are part of such associations. If the associations are on the weaker side, we as members or professionals, we can reach out to MLA or to the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division to say, help us strengthen our association, because we really have to work hard to increase this number from 15, at least if we can have 40 of our national associations registered. And then we have 70 institutions, but imagine how many institutions we have in our region. So membership is very, very low. I have learned and observed that the countries, the regions with the highest division, it's the North America and the Europe. So we are also among the least registered members. And then we only have 19 individuals. So colleagues in our region, let us work very, very hard to increase these numbers. So a webinar like this is to share to us the different categories of membership, so that we may be motivated, we may be encouraged to join in. Now in the next slide, I'll talk to you on some of the things that members that have engaged or reached out to the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division are bringing out. This is for you to have an awareness of where you can step in as a person in the division, or even outside the division, where and how you can support our division, because we need to strengthen so that global voice. We have had feedback from our members. And if you are not a member, please note that you have been left out when people are giving feedback. So find a way of reaching out. The members report that they have not had much awareness of our activities. And when we reflect, we realize that we would have an activity like this, but we would not explain that it is part of the initiatives of the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division, or that it is part of the strategic plan. So as people in the region, I'm urging you to please reach out to even to the old committee or the incoming committee. Please ask for the strategic plan so that you are able to participate and engage. Because our members say they are not aware of the plan. It is available in the IFLA website. Please go there. If you can't go get it, talk to me openly or privately. I'm available, and the committee is available to share that. And the members say they were not aware of our meetings. Going forward, we have resolved that when we have meetings, we will invite our members so that they become aware of our plans, and they will be sitting in as observers. And then our members also have reached out to us, say, yes, we are not aware of the activities that we are doing. I'm bringing these all out to you, colleagues, in this webinar so that you know that you are at liberty to reach out because your voice matters. And part of the feedback, or what organizations, what people who are members say they have benefited from the being part of being from their membership. They note that they have had improved update on professional practices, and they have improved their knowledge and their skills through networking within the profession, within IFLA, within the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division. It has helped them also share experiences. We have initiatives where we are trying to populate our map of the world, and our region has been lagging behind, colleagues. We are calling for more input from you. Our information coordinator has been sharing through newsletter, she has been sharing through emails. If you are not part of that communication network, please reach out. We want you to be part of us so that you help in sharing the experiences and you expand your networks, because colleagues who are members are reporting good expansion of their networks. It is just a highlight of what you can benefit as a member, as part of the network, colleagues, and there is a lot. And I would conclude by saying, while we go into WILSIG, look out for what the region would be doing. We are going to have caucuses, we are going to have meetings, and wherever you see the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division, we are going to be collaborating with continued development in the place, an open session, and we are going to be collaborating with other divisions, the MENA region, the Sub-Saharan African Regional Division, and the Europe, the North America. All 5 regions would be hosting a session. I'm encouraging you to be there so that you know what you can do as a member and as a potential member, how you can draw others in. Thank you, Loida, for this opportunity. Loida, you're muted.
Thank you so much, Ayanda. There is really fantastic work happening, and this is all thanks to members and volunteers, right, that we give our time. I wanted to highlight again that we, MLAS is here to collaborate with you and your countries, and we did this in the Africa region with Lesotho. And so, you know, we are happy to converse with different people in collaboration with the regional division to see how we can make things happen. Yes. And now I would like to welcome one of our MLAS members, Namutenya Hamwalwa. Welcome. And I can share the screen. Just let me know when.
Thank you, Loida. I think you can share the screen. Good afternoon, everyone. or good morning. We are different sides. Can you hear me, Loida?
Yes, I can hear you very well, and the screen is now yours with your presentation.
Okay, thank you. Maybe you can just put it on a full slide. Thank you, Loida, for this opportunity. Just to, the introduction was already done, but probably just for the benefit of those who joined late. My name is Namtenya Hamalwa, and I'm a former chairperson of the National Information Worker Association of Namibia. I'm a member of MLS committee, and also a committee member for Sub-Saharan Africa Regional Division. And what I do on a daily-to-day basis, I'm a deputy director for Namibia Library and Archive Service. So I think we can move on to the next slide. What we'll be talking on today will be talking about the strategic planning for library associations. So the presentation will look at the introduction. I will briefly look at the landscape of library association in Sub-Saharan Africa. Then we talk a little bit about strategic planning, what the benefits of having strategic plans for association is, the current challenges and opportunity recommendations, and then we will conclude the presentation. So I will not go into details of defining what strategic planning is, but what I can say is that strategic planning is a roadmap for impact, sustainability, and relevance. So it's very important for library associations to have strategic plan for us to advance access to information, literacy, and professional development. And it gives us a way where we want to go or which direction we want to go as library associations. So it's crucial for all library associations actually to have a strategic plan so that they can plan on where they would want to be in future. So for the benefit of all the attendees, I just want to talk a little bit about Sub-Saharan Africa, and Nyanda has done well already. She said we have over 40 countries. So we are about 50 countries in Sub-Saharan Africa that include Central Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa, and West Africa. And I just put a map there for you to see the Sub-Saharan Africa. It's almost the entire of Africa, actually. So, and 50 countries, it's a lot of countries. But when you look at the library associations, you see that not all countries have active library associations. Some probably do not have at all. Some have that functioning this year, next year, something will happen and they are not so functioning. But what we have done as a committee for Sub-Saharan Africa, last year we also have done a survey just to identify which countries have functional library association, which countries do not have. The response of the survey also was not too good. Some of the countries have responded, most of the countries did not respond, but we agreed as a committee to redo the survey again so that we get to all the countries. So moving on, these are the library association, the active library association that if you even look online, you get them, and they have active websites. We have Botswana, Eswatini, Kenya, Lesotho, Liasa, that's South Africa, Zambia, Malawi, Namibia, Tanzania, Uganda, Zimbabwe. So far I've about 11 active library association on Sub-Saharan Africa. And we also have a regional association. Most of us know about AFILA, African Library and Information Association Institution. We recently had a conference in Namibia, which was very successful. And this regional association is very active. And, you know, you have national association, you have regional association, and then you have IFLA, that's an international association. So in a way, I would say that as a continent, we are doing very well, and we are supporting the work of AFILA. So moving on to the strategic planning, like I indicated earlier, strategic planning is actually just a process through which an organization or an association defines its directions, set priorities, allocate resources, and align stakeholders around shared goals. And this help organization make informed decisions, respond to change, especially now that there's so much change happening in the information sector. There's digital transformation, and as association, we really need to move with time. And for us to move with time, we need to have directions and we have to set priorities. More in particular that the resources of most of the associations are not sufficient, so we need to identify some areas that we need to align our activities to. When I was now doing this research, I have searched through to see which library associations have strategic plans available on their website. So I happened to find the strategic plan for Namibia, National Information Worker Association of Namibia, for LIASA, for Kenya, and for Uganda. So it's only those 4 countries where I managed to see their strategic plan. Some of the strategic plans are up to date. Some of them I think need to be reviewed because they are outdated. But one thing for sure is that these strategic plans have lots of things in common. Most of them, their key objectives are looking at supporting national development programs, strengthening advocacy, and advocacy seems to be strongly coming out in this strategic plan, strengthening network and regional and international level, develop training and human development programs, and also they are talking about developing inclusive strategy for young professionals, which I think it's very key because we need to mentor the young people when they get the opportunity to be the leaders of associations. At least they are well equipped. And moving on, we I've also seen that most of the strategic plan for this country also are looking at collaborating with member institutions on the development and improvement of library services. And one key thing that's recruiting and retention of members that seems to also come out strongly in the strategic plan of these countries. Marketing and communication to enhance the library association visibility is also coming out strongly. And more importantly, they are also looking at resource mobilization and financial management, which I think it's key for all library associations. Now, what are the benefits of strategic vision for library associations? So why do we need to have strategic plans? The importance of having strategic plan is that we align our activities to different goals, especially the national and international goals. And we also need to ensure sustainability of these associations. Like I indicated earlier, you will find some of the associations are functioning this year, next year they might not be functioning. It's probably because there is no plan of where they want to be. And from my experience is that members of association actually like knowing what is happening, or they will say, what is it in for us, or what is in for the country? So they need to see these plans, and then also to drive the growth of the association and for the sector in general. So in more detail, the strategic plans actually clarifies the association's mission and visions in the information landscape. And like I indicated, they help to align the association's activities to the SDGs, education, digital transformation. And for Africa, we are talking about African Union Agenda 2016. So these are the key areas that we need to look at when we are thinking about the strategic plans. And also they enable us to better use the limited resources that we have focusing on priority areas, because one can identify as a country, maybe you want to align your activities to education or to digital transformation, and the little resources that you have, you can dedicate them to a specific area. And then so many things are happening. We are facing so many challenges, especially with funding. So one can say that, we build institutional resilience to encounter those challenges that we are currently experiencing. And then we can move on, Loida. Yeah, this is so important to say that, the strategic plans actually help our association to remain relevant. Because if we are not aligning our activities to the national or international goals, most of the times, association will fall out and their relevance will not be visible. And also, when you are building strategic partnership, they would want to see what is that you are doing as an association, what is that you are supporting, so that you can also, get the support from different stakeholders and also from government agencies and all those people that will be able to support your activities. And then also to advocate for libraries, information access and policy changes. And this is the area that most of our countries need to align our activities to, especially with the policy changes, because if the associations are not advocating for libraries, you will find that not many people will do that. But the decision makers many a times listen to the associations. If they talk about policy or funding, then they know there's hope for these library associations. And then improve the governance and accountability, and like I said, attract funding and partnership. So if you have your activities that will talk about the accountability, how the governance will be done, I'm sure that most of people would want to even join our associations because they know there's something for them and there's accountability on whatever we are doing. Some of the challenges that I have identified as a former chairperson of our library association, and also when I was doing research for this presentation, I've seen that there's a lack of regional collaboration. Some countries are doing very well, and some countries are not doing so well. So I think there might be a need for us to collaborate as countries to help each other in crafting our strategic plans. I've also seen that there's insufficient capacity on the development of strategic plans, especially with the young leaders. We need to take them on so that they know how to handle strategic plans or how to think strategically. Sometimes some of the country are struggling with funding limitations, because if you don't have capacity to develop your own strategic plans, you would want assistance from elsewhere. And most of the people that assist, especially in my country, with strategic plan are very costly, and the association might not afford. But we are lucky to say that we have the experts that help us with strategic plan, but we don't want to rely so much on the how do I call the experts that have been helping. We need to develop the capacity of the young people so that, when these experts are not there to assist, at least young people will still be doing well. And then what I've also observed from Namibia is that our association does not have full-time personnel. We are all volunteers, so sometimes there's not so much time for the members to take on strategic plans or to take some days off just to craft the strategic plans. But this is really something that is needed. Once we build the capacity, I'm sure that members will also make time to to craft the strategic plans. And then the opportunity what I see is that there's opportunity to partner with national and regional level and community support, so that, you know, for the countries that are struggling, at least there should be an opportunity where other countries that are doing well are helping others. And then we might also, I've seen an opportunity that MLIS can help, you know, with the strategic plans of different countries. Maybe what we need to do is just to create that link, so that when you find that, you know, your country is struggling, maybe you can talk to the experts, or you talk to Loida to get your expert who can help you to come up with your strategic plan. And then with the recommendation, which I probably have already said, is that we need to develop a strategic plan, align them to the international or national goals. And then I think on leadership and change management for association leaders. Because for my country, for instance, I think there's really a gap on that, and it's something that will be very, very helpful. And then we also need to promote strategies, including youth library users, because sometimes when we are doing the strategy plans, we craft our strategy plans as some associations, but we don't involve other people who might have different views of how they would want the association to operate. So it would be very good to also sell the idea to the users, library users, and ask them, what is that you would want us to do for you? I think it will be inclusive. And then moving on, we also need to then advocate for government and donor engagement, because it's very important that when we have partners, so that, you know, our government also know the positions of the of our associations. And then, as I indicated, we need to encourage regional collaboration in peer learning, facilitate peer exchange platform for library association to share their strategic plan processes, documents, and lesson learned, so that, you know, other countries can learn. And then we need also to encourage library association to have their strategic plans available online, so that, you know, other people can see what is Kenya or what is South Africa doing, or what are they planning that we can perhaps also do in Namibia. So this will also increase the visibility of the library associations. And then on conclusion, I just want to emphasize once again that, you know, a strategic plan is very key to empower library association, so that they can lead, they can adapt and thrive in this changing information environment. And also to say that, you know, it's very important that we know what is happening in the countries, in our countries, when we are talking about national priorities, and then respond to those changes or to those priorities. They should reflect in our plans. And then also to say that collaboration, like Ayanda has said, collaboration is key. We don't need to do everything on our own. If somebody has done it before, we can just maybe replicate and change it to fit our situation. With that, Loida, thank you so much. And thank you to all the attendees.
Thank you so much, Namatenya Hamwalwa, member of MLAS. And very important, I am taking notes of your recommendations and your suggestions in terms of working with MLAS. And we will be happy to follow up as I continue as chair of MLAS for another 2 years. Now I would like to welcome Jan Moy Ketsi. Welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. I hope I'm audible enough to.
Yes.
I'm ready to ramble. Am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you. Can you share my first slide, the one that speaks to who I am, what am I talking about, etc.
Okay. Just a moment.
Right.
Mm. All right, here we go. Okay, great.
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to, good evening, good morning, good night, if it is night, wherever you are. To all our wonderful audience and my fellow speakers to this webinar. Let me start by grounding my presentation as follows, Chair. In South Africa, we've got a saying that says, you not represent
Jan, we need a little bit more volume for the audio.
I thought, am I audible enough? Okay. All right. I think
much
think,
better.
yeah,
Yes.
Yeah. Oh no, I know it's this link that was a little bit too far from my mouth. Chair, I asked to foreground my presentation as follows. In South Africa, we've got a saying that says you're not coming to this forum to represent yourself, but to represent people. So therefore, let me take this opportunity to acknowledge the good work that you and your team are doing. In particular, let me also acknowledge the speakers who spoke before me and the one who's going to speak after me. Through your indulgence, Chairperson, let me also express my deepest gratitude and the privilege I'm afforded to address this gathering under the theme Building Strong Library Associations. My sincere thanks to the board of LIASA, its chair, Lepo, for allowing me to come and share our successes and possibly our failures with colleagues from our neighboring countries and abroad. Yeah, it is of particular interest that you asked us to speak to this topic in a month of July. July to us is a month of great significance and a very special one. It is special in the sense that it is the time in which the current association is for.
We can't hear.
You can't.
Now we can.
Oh, okay.
Now
I was saying it is of particular interest that you asked me to come and speak about building library associations in the month of July. LIASA in particular was born in July, and therefore July is a special and significant month to the lives of all librarians and librarianship in the sunny south of South Africa. To all our forebears, Chair, who dared to dream, we can proudly and with humility say, thank you for paying midwifery to the association and can confirm safely and say to them, the baby is alive and well. To all our past president, rep councils and excos, we must most importantly thank you for your unwavering vision and guidance throughout the years. This association, whose work I'm about to brag about, is not of the current leadership only in its board format. However, it is a culmination of hard work of previous leadership thus far. We truly, Chair, are standing on the broad shoulders of the giants before us. Next slide, Chair. Next. Chair, just to ensure that we don't send mixed signals, LIASA, the acronym means the Library and Information Association of South Africa. I know that there's LIAS, so I thought it is of importance that we must draw that distinction clearly. In our country, the Senguni saying LIASA, which means the dawn of a new era. So that's who we are. We are, as a creature of statute, Chair, accredited by the South African Qualification Authority, yes, as a recognized library and information workers professional body. We equally confer professional library status to all those who qualified on the criteria as laid down by our constitution. Next slide, Chair. I heard colleagues speaking about the lack of human resources. There is our organogram, which comprise of the LIASA board, led by the chairperson of the board. And then we've got 3 officials who are full-time in the office: the office manager, the training development and coordinator office, the membership and operations officer. And externally, we have an accountant who takes care of our finances. Next slide, Chair. Our membership, Chair, are as presented. Dr. Ayanda, maybe to allay your fears, on our side, we're not where exactly we want to be. However, we have taken care of some of your concerns in the sense that we're taking care of our pensioners, we're taking care of our undergraduate students. Maybe what we may not have, as I've made a note, is the what you call non-salaried people. Maybe something to look forward to in as we amend our constitution going forward. Next slide, Chair. So I'm not gonna waste time on this. These are some of the benefits that our members enjoy by being members. And it's a whole list, it's a whole basket list. It is available on our website, and anyone interested can have a look. It is very comprehensive, but it may have its own flaws, presumably. But this is what we offer to our members, and this is what our members are enjoying by being members consistently. So, thanks. Our membership statistics to date, Chair, the statistics is as of this morning. We were celebrating last week when we were celebrating South African National Librarians Day on the 10th of July. And we noted this increasing membership of 2,074, the highest ever in the last 11 years. It is something worthy to be celebrated, Chair. Thanks. Yes, Chair, we've got, as an association, we run a number of workshops. Of course, we've got one conference, but we've got numerous workshops that are organized on behalf of our members and non-members, mainly through seminars, training, and many other platforms wherein our members can be upskilled, reskilled, etc. Continuous professional development, Chair. We have, through many of our sponsors, trainings that we organize and make available for our members to enjoy and learn from. This also includes awards, scholarships, etc., and leadership opportunities. We've got next one. Yeah, next one.
Oh, okay.
We have, I think, 4 flagship events in a calendar year, Chair. The first one is the South African Library Week, which is celebrated in March of every year. It's a week long where we bring awareness to the use of libraries. The significance of this day, Chair, is many years ago, I can't remember the exact year, the first public library was established in South Africa. And as such, going forward, we're celebrating libraries on that particular week that falls on or within the 21st of March every year. We also have the South African Librarians Day Chair. This day is celebrated to highlight and to advocate for the role that librarians play in ordinary people's lives on the 10th of July. And basically the whole month of July, we celebrate librarians and their roles in society and so forth. The same goes to the South African Digital Literacy, which is a precursor to the week that is called Open Science. So we celebrate and bring awareness to our communities, students, researchers on the importance and the do's and don'ts of digital literacy. The highlight of the year, Chair, which most librarians look up to, is the annual LIASA conference, which has got many shining points. This is where we reward various categories of librarians who go beyond the call of duty. We've got an award such as the Emerging Librarian of the Year, Librarian of the Year, Research Librarian of the Year, Public Librarian of the Year, Lifetime Achievements Award, Presidential Awards. This is where we celebrate ourselves and those who go an extra mile during their call of duty, Chairperson. It is a very significant and important event in the calendar of the association. The international collaboration and representation, Chair, we are affiliates to IFLA. That's the reason why I'm here. We are equally affiliated to IFLA, SCEXAL, and UNESCO. So all the regional structures and international structures, we play one role or the other in enhancing librarianship throughout the country and beyond our borders. Oh, that's the end of my story. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And there we have the information to contact John if anybody would like to do that. I really appreciate this amazing example of a library association at national level in the continent, because the members can see perhaps a model that they maybe can follow. They can look into the different areas that Jan shared. And as I always say, start with one element and then build on that. But there are excellent sections here and different components of the work of the association. So thank you so much. And I hope this is inspiring for everyone that is here right now and will listen to the recording later. Now I would like to welcome Dr. Margaret Tarpley. Welcome. We are in the same continent, I think. So hello to you as well.
Good morning, good afternoon. It's such a pleasure to be here today. And my responsibility in this webinar and talk is to share why we want to be a part of international library associations. And so if you can put my slides up, this is going to be a little more personal today, because I'm going to share why this has been important to me as a librarian to be a part of these associations that I'm going to share with you. So next slide. This is my personal timeline. I have worked in the continent of Africa for over 15 years, and I started back in the late 70s and in the 1980s while I was working in Nigeria at a seminary library. I joined the American Theological Library Association and shortly afterwards was contacted by the librarian at Emory University in the United States to help with collecting books on Africa independent churches. So that was my first step in being a part of a library association in the United States but because I was in Africa, this library association accepted people from anywhere. And that's true of other library associations, that just because they're in one place does not mean that members cannot be in other places, even other countries or continents. And so I continued with my work. Can you go back to that slide? Into the 1990s, within the United States and in Nigeria, where I was working at the time. But then when I came back to the United States, I was put on the International Collaboration Committee of what's now called ATLA, the American Theological Library Association. And that was through that work on that committee, an international collaboration committee, and we did have members not just from the United States, but we had members from Europe and Canada, and a few people from other countries. I found IFLA because of my work in this committee. Africa was my territory, and so I looked around. Where could I go to a meeting in Africa? And I found the IFLA meeting in Durban in 2008. And that began my long association with IFLA. And through that conference, I attended, as we were just heard a few minutes ago, the IFLA section and all the meetings, most of the meetings are open to anyone. So I attended the Africa section and found that this was my niche. And I self-nominated myself to be on the Africa section back in 2009 or 10. And I served 2 different terms on the Africa section. Then later on, just more recently, I have nominated, just stay on that slide for a few minutes. I'm almost done. And so I self-nominated for the Evidence for Global and Disaster Health Committee that's related to health and biosciences, because during the years I transitioned, when we returned from Africa, I began working in surgery education. We librarians, I like to think of us as generic people who have skills that go across specialties. And many library associations don't just target schools or public, but they are all libraries, academic, law, parliamentary, all kinds of libraries, in addition to schools and public libraries. And so I became a part of health and biosciences. And then along the way, because of my work in theological education, I was a part of a founding member of the interest group Relendial, which is about religion and dialogue. So it's an interfaith group, because in IFLA, everything was represented except faith-based organizations. And we felt like this was very important. And then in 2013, I was a part of the IFLA founding organizational meeting that held in Pretoria in 2013. And I've tried to attend. In fact, as was mentioned a few minutes ago, we just recently were in Namibia for one of the IFLA meetings. And this is so important because this reaches across all of mostly sub-Saharan Africa, but other places as well. And then I'm also a part of the Africa Baptist Theological Education Network. I just got back from Kenya from one of their meetings. So you see that I'm across many library groups and across many library subjects. Next slide. So what are types of international memberships? And my responsibility today is to help you and our people that are tuning in to know what are advantages of being in international library associations. So let's think about the different kinds that are available. We have regional associations. We have continental that are inclusive across specialties, but we also have continental that are special library groups. And then, of course, we have global like IFLA. Next slide. So what are examples of regional? As we've just heard, Skexel, that's a very active group in Eastern, Central, and Southern Africa libraries. And that's been around since 1957. Then an example of an exclusive group would be the parliamentary librarians of Eastern Southern Africa. And that group started in 1994. Now, the American Library Association, it's regional because it includes Canada and the United States, and it also has members who are from other countries as well. Next slide. So what would be a continental inclusive? Well, that's IFLA, which was founded in 2013 in Pretoria. And then in Europe, an example would be the Bureau of Library Information and Documentation Associations. And that is open to all of the libraries on the continent of Europe. Next. So what are continental special? Well, ABTEN, the Baptist Theological Group, that is focused on not just Baptist seminaries, but anyone who feels as though their theology has a Baptistic foundation, and that's in Africa. Then the Africa Law Librarians have a group, and in Europe, there's a theological library group called Beth, and that meets annually like these other groups. Well, ABTEN meets every other year. And then they have regional groups within ABTEN for the schools and libraries like West Africa, East Africa, Southern Africa. All right, next slide. So here is the one that we all know about. I'm not going to read this for you. All of us are familiar with IFLA, but IFLA is so important, and it's been around almost 100 years. They'll be celebrating their 100th year in just 2 years. It started in 1927, and its headquarters are in The Hague, in the Netherlands. A recent meeting was actually in Rotterdam, and I went, and I actually went over just to see what The Hague was like. It's highly protected. You really can't get into the buildings, but it was so interesting to see where the IFLA headquarters were located. And it is truly global. There are librarians from virtually every continent that are active within IFLA. And the Africa section is very vital. And many people from the Africa section have served in high-level roles within IFLA, including the presidency several years ago. Next slide. So what are advantages of membership in these international organizations? Well, of course, networking is a very highly valued advantage. And that's one of the problems with the hybrid meetings. It's not quite the same to network on Zoom, but that's so much better than not being able to attend a meeting. So you can have networking face-to-face as well as over these platforms like Zoom. These international organizations give you access to resources from a wider range of sources. This is when I'm in these organizations, every time I do anything with any of these organizations, I find new resources to share with those people that I work with, both in theology and in surgery and in other areas when I'm called in to talk to people. And then, of course, professional development is exceedingly important. One of the things we always need to think about, those of us who are in education, is adult education never works unless the students figure out what is in it for me. You can't have a theoretical reason. There has to be tangible benefits that the student sees and hears before what you are trying to share is going to sink in. And I think that we need to help people understand what these benefits are. Our other speakers have talked about these benefits, and we just need to continue reinforcing that. And also the collaboration opportunities. which, if you're in academics, can lead to presentations as well as publications, because that's very important in academics to enhance your CV, professional advancement. And whether, even if you're not in academics, it's very important in many organizations for them to see that you are a part of the professional organizations that this group works with. Next slide. So these are just a few of the resources that I've discovered through membership in international organizations. There's many freely available webinars on virtual and hybrid conferences. Here's something for people that work in religious studies or theological libraries. There's a whole series of freely available materials called Management in Theological Libraries, and we're actually thinking about trying to adapt it to a more generic audience, because one of the things that we have found out in helping libraries, that we've heard about the countries with very vibrant library associations, but there are a number of countries on the continent of Africa that do not even have a library school. And the people running the libraries, even at university level, many times do not have library training. And we're thinking about trying to create some short-term webinars to bring up to speed these persons with no library background that are asked to operate libraries. And I would encourage some of you to reach out to me if you have some ideas from this. And then there's Africa Journals Online, which has many open access journals across all of the subjects that come up in Africa. Business, medicine, sociology, public schools, etc. And then there's Cielo, which focuses on Latin America and South American journals, but it has 15 years of open access materials, because one of the things I'm very interested in is open access. Next slide. So if there are any questions that arise, here is my contact information. And it's been such a pleasure to speak with you. That's all. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. That's another excellent example of, everything related to international work in librarianship and library associations. And so there are great benefits to be involved in these matters for individuals and for library associations, right, to collaborate. We have available time for questions. I will ask attendees if they would like to ask a question. There is a Q&A field there. If you don't find it, you can also type your question on the chat, and I am going to review it along with the speakers to provide answers. And thank you so much to the attendees. I can see their presentations have been well received, excellent material. And this is the time for question and answers. The recording will be available. I have the presentations from the speakers, and we will do our best to include them on the event page. And all that will be shared on the IFLA list, and we can also share on the IFLA Africa email list as well. All right, let's see. I don't see questions, which is very interesting. If we don't have questions, then I will ask the speakers for last remarks, very brief. But if you have something that you would like attendees to leave with, I would like then to, this is the time. And what I will do is I will ask Namotenya, Jan, Margaret, and then Ayanda to close the webinar. Let's see if there is another, all right. There are some, this is great. Attendees are engaged on the chat, and that's wonderful. And we have some time if anyone would like question, but I would like to go to our speakers for any final remarks, something that you think is very important for attendees to leave with. Namutenya, welcome back.
Thank you, Loida. I think my closing remarks really is just on building capacity for our young leader of library associations, especially when it comes to strategic plans. I think as a sector or a Sub-Saharan Africa, IANDA, we need to bring the team together, the experts to assist us to build capacity. Because I know there are countries that are doing very well and we can identify them one by one, identify experts and maybe create a platform where we can really bring all these leaders together. It can be a webinar like this. It doesn't have to be a physical one, but we need to start somewhere to build capacity. And I'm sure that Loida, you'll be also able to provide support. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. Thank you. And Jan, welcome back.
Thanks for this opportunity, Chair. Maybe what I could say is when you look at one of your topics that you touched on was membership retention. In our endeavor to try and have members renew, what is the word? Renew, what is not conservatively? Consistently, maybe let me use that word. We have a number of awards wherein for you to be eligible, you must have been a member for, let's say, 3 years, 2 years, 4 years in a row. So that somehow helps for our members to say that they may lose out if they take a break in membership, etc. So I think that's one of the good strategy that I think we are using to try and retain members. It is one thing to recruit members. We have a very energetic, vibrant, and participating audience or membership who are eager to attend this or that. So we're not where we want to be, obviously, but I think we are making strides in that regard. If you look at our membership trajectory, the sponsors have come in handy. We don't even call them sponsors. They are our partners. They've come up handy in many of these awards, which allow people to travel to IFLA, AFLIA, and so forth. Because some of the awards, if you win them, they are not necessarily money that you can put in your pocket, but they are money that you must then show how you used it. And one of the criteria required is you must use it for professional development, attend this, further your studies, go to IFLA, go to AFLIA, etc. So I think there's no magic wand, but we're trying our best to try and recruit members and retain them at the same time. Thanks.
Thank you. And Jan, I can say from where I sit, look at the library associations in the world, and we are all trying to recruit and retain members. And so, yes, thank you for that. Welcome back, Margaret.
My parting thoughts would be a plea for more continuing education at the lower level, because I've been doing some consulting in some libraries just in the last couple of years in places where there is a lack of opportunity to do any kind of library training. If you're in countries like South Africa or Nigeria or Kenya, you have plenty of opportunities to study library skills at the university level. But there are a number of countries, particularly in Western Africa and some other places, where there's little opportunity, but there's a huge need for short courses, not just one webinar, but like maybe a 3 months course that can be developed for what we call library paraprofessionals, those persons that are very intelligent, and perhaps they even have some kind of university degree in something else, but they have no library skill training, but they are asked to be in charge of the library. So my plea is, number one, if some of you know of some short courses like this, I've investigated and have had I've not had any luck, but we are even thinking about creating something like this to help those places. We saw that there's 11 countries with library associations, active library associations, but there's 40 or 50 countries that we don't know about. So that is my plea for collaboration, and I would really look forward to hearing from any of you who know about opportunities, even online, but even face to face, that are short, that would be only a few months where someone might go and get this training. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Jan, yes?
Not sure. Thanks. I thought I should respond to that. With us, we've got a process of RPL. Those members or colleagues who don't have the necessary required qualification to become professional librarians, we've got a process, an RPL process, where they can apply, and then we assess them to test their competency, etc., etc. And then if they meet the requirements or if they satisfy that criteria, they then are awarded professional librarian status, which is in line with our South African Qualification Authority. We've got a process currently underway, and we hope to confer the first batch of applicants before the next conference. Thanks, Chair.
Great news, great news. And I hope this is also inspiring to other members in different countries. Before I go to Ayanda, I know she's there, but we have a question here, and I want to read it in case someone has a comment about that. The question goes to the national associations. How have you been uniting the small associations within the association, for instance, record secondary school librarians, and bringing them to one page? I will just offer my example. I am based in the United States, and American Library Association is one kind of big association, but there are other library associations that are part of it. For instance, you have heard of PLA, the Public Library Association, the Association of College and Research Libraries. Those are part of ALA. And in this case, right, how we unite everybody, well, there are areas that are of common interest. It could be a capacity, someone mentioned here. It could be library advocacy across the board, because that is the one thing that we can never say, unfortunately, we reach, right? We always need to continue advocating. So, find your commonalities and then work together, academic, public school librarians. That's perhaps an area where we can unite, but also perhaps webinars, because, it's not very easy for everybody to be in person, but if it's an online topic of interest to this different type of librarians, I think that's a good step to start uniting. But it could be also research or publications, like joint collaboration. There are different ways, and I will actually encourage to look at our MLAS YouTube page, because there are different webinars from different regions, and this is something that is included mostly in the membership retention piece. And so I hope that this brief information was useful, but if one of our speakers has more that they would like to share about this particular question, please come on. Jan, yes.
No, sorry, Chair. I'm talking too much now. Yes, we have similar arrangements where we've arranged them in sectors. We've got the academic and research sector, the school and special libraries, public library sector. Even at conference, we have what we call parallel sessions, where each interest groups will draw their own programs and have and invite call for papers in their own space, in their own interest. So it makes everyone feels comfortable in a way that says, you know, there would always be the complaint that academic libraries are sort of not bullying, but overshadowing others. So to allay those fears, each sector has got a chair. They can run their own programs. They can run their own staff development, etc., etc. I thought I should share that. Chair. Thanks.
Thank you. And now I will like to let me see, that was that question. Okay, there's no another one, so that's great. All right. Well, now I would like to welcome back Dr. Ayanda Lebele, Chair of the IFLA Sub-Saharan section. Welcome back.
Thank you very much. Before I get to the role you are asking me to do, let me respond to the question on how do we bring the other in sub-Saharan Africa. In most countries we look at them more as interest groups, like Jen was indicating. They become more of interest group, like the academic and research libraries, the parliamentary librarians, and all those, and they feed into in their case would be LIASA, and in our case it would be the Botswana Library Association. The reason we are doing that is because like Margaret indicated, we are still nurturing growth of associations in our region. For example, in my country, we have a very small population. So if we had many other associations, it would weaken the national association. So managing them as interest groups works better. But like I said, every country has a different context, but this is the model that is more common in our region. Now, taking back to my role, this webinar is really what we needed. It's a beautiful, should I say, send off as we hand over the baton to the incoming committee next August, because a lot of issues that emerged here are issues that in our internal assessment and in the reviews that are coming from the membership, they needed to know more about membership. They needed to know more about the different types of membership and what they would benefit from being members. And this webinar has really addressed it. And when I started, I gave the landscape of the type of membership. And we have here had somebody who talked about the different memberships, both the international ones and the different membership that we have as an example of a strong association in the region, the different cadres that they have and the different activities that they have. So this kind of, it's killing a bird with killing many bears with only one stone. So I'm very happy it happened. And I'm glad also we are bringing in what we do as the committee. One of our member, Namutenya, was giving, because we are a strategic point of reference for the association in the region. So one of us saying, this is what we need to do as the professionals in the area so that there's sustainability. I want to highlight an area of concern that I find in many associations in our region, issues of governance of the associations. An association may be active. We just had a meeting in our region, in my country, some 2-3 days away. We are like, let us wake up as an association. We may be active on paper, but what are we doing on the ground? And issues of governance are coming not just in my country, in many African, sub-Saharan African regional divisions. So that's an area that, Loida, I would wish the MLA could help associations in our region strengthen. Part of the strategic plans should have a clear reflection of the succession plan.
Yes.
And that should be embedded in the constitution of the association. I think having said that, I've really appreciated the speakers who are representing the true essence of the kind of people I've been leading, and they are saying this is what we've been doing, and I'm happy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ayanda. I met Ayanda a few years ago at the United Nations High-Level Political Forum, and I was so pleased to see the way she has directed the Sub-Saharan Africa this term. And it was a great opportunity also to collaborate. MLAS has a number of members in the region. We have Namotenya Hamwawa, we have Adame Kane, he's in Cote d'Ivoire. We have Lynn Gibril, and so we have at least 3 members in the region, and it's wonderful. They collaborate in different ways because I have to say all MLA's members are very active in different ways, and that's why if you see different webinars on the IFLA list, is because there is someone behind them. And I would like to thank our speakers, our attendees, and just reiterate that MLAS is here. We don't have a staff or budget, but we collaborate with the members and with the library associations, and we are part of IFLA. It's one federation, and we do work in harmony and in sync with the other sections, with the IFLA headquarters and everybody together. So thank you so much. The recording will be available in a couple of weeks, and all the very best to all. And if you're going to the leak, we'll see you there then. Bye-bye. Thanks.